Monday Night Raw starts off with Gunther. He cuts a promo. He ends up, it looks like he's about to apologize for last week's segment, mentioning how Damian Priest is just street trash. It looks like he's about to apologize, but the crowd keeps booing him. The crowd keeps booing him, and then he ends up saying that he meant every word that he said about Damian Priest, and that he is still street trash. He ends up saying that he's not worthy of being World Heavyweight Championship, and that he should just give it to him, and that him and the Judgment Day are also just street trash as well. Damian Priest, his music comes out, he comes in, he has a microphone, he ends up just dropping the microphone and ends up immediately attacking Gunther. They're going back and forth, they're brawling. Damian Priest keeps getting the upper hand each time. Security trying to break them away, but Damian Priest keeps breaking off the security, keeps on attacking Gunther, just keep on attacking Gunther over and over and over again. Then they even go into the backstage where Jackie Redman, if I'm not mistaken, was trying to speak to the camera. Gunther was right behind her, and then out of nowhere, Damian Priest ends up attacking Gunther again. I love what they're doing here. I love they're making Gunther seem a bit vulnerable to a degree. And I don't mean vulnerable, I mean like somewhat beatable to a degree. I love that they're making Damian Priest seem actually capable of beating Gunther, because I had a fear that, in this feud that they were just going to make Gunther seem like the superior guy, and he was just going to demolish Damian Priest. But I love how they're actually building this feud up. This has been really good. Next, we get Braun Breaker versus Ilya Dragunov, a number one contendership for the Intercontinental Champion. Whoever the winner of this match get to face Sami Zayn at SummerSlam. This was a really, really good match. Early in the match, we had a spot where Braun Breaker and Ilya was on the top rope. Braun got the advantage and ended up dropping Ilya Dragunov on top of the ring post, which I have never seen. I don't think I've never seen anyone drop someone on top of the ring post, which was very sick. They end up playing a rib injury throughout the entire match. Then later in the match, we get Ilya and Braun Breaker on the ring apron. Ilya ends up doing basically an attitude adjustment onto Braun Breaker on the ring apron. Braun Breaker's on the outside. Ilya is about to, try to go for an H-bomb, but Braun Breaker gets up and ends up spearing Ilya mid-air and affecting, his rib area, of course. He gets back in the ring. The referee checks on Ilya, and Ilya is knocked out. He's knocked out cold. He can't compete, and that's the end of the segment, the end of the match there. Braun Breaker advances, and he will face Sami Zayn at SummerSlam for the Intercontinental Championship. I'm assuming Braun should win that match, especially with what they did towards the end of the show. Later on in the show, that Braun Breaker definitely should be winning that match for sure. But this was a great match. This was a great way to protect Ilya, and Braun Breaker looks like a monster. This was great. Next, we get Judgment Day segment. Okay, Finn Balor is speaking about Jey Uso. He wants to take care of Jey Uso. Rhea Ripley basically doesn't agree. Rhea Ripley is like, it doesn't make sense. Why are we finna have issues with Jey Uso? Dominic pulls Rhea aside, mentions, what Jey Uso did last week and how she didn't really check him on that. Rhea just said that she was just toying with him. It wasn't that serious. Finn Balor is really, trying to, get rid of this Jey Uso situation. That's not really a problem, but Rhea basically is like, don't do anything. Rhea Ripley leaves, and then Finn Balor kind of instigates a bit to Dominic, basically ends up saying that you know what you need to do, you need to handle it, and Dom basically agrees. So throughout the show, plays the story of trying to get rid of Jey Uso. We get Lyra Valkyria versus Sonya Deville. Not going to speak too much on this match. Sonya Deville picks up the victory with the interference of Shayna Baszler, if I'm not mistaken, building up this new faction between Sonya Deville, Zoe Stark, and Shayna Baszler. I like the potential of this faction. I hope they continue to win, but I like the potential of this faction. I'm interested to see where this goes. Next, we get a quick little vignette. We get Nikki Cross, her VHS tape, plays hers, and it's Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas is constantly mentioning, look yourself in the mirror. Keep on mentioning, keep looking at yourself in the mirror. He ends up saying that they forgot about you, they didn't care about you, that they lied to you, and that they end up forgetting about you. Then towards the end of the vignette, it just shows Nikki Cross streaming into the video, and then the video ends. Nothing too major there, but they're doing each member their own VHS tape to give their own backstory, which I am enjoying. Now we get the main thing that everyone's been wondering. CM Punk. CM Punk comes out, and he basically says he's cleared. He says he's cleared, and he wants all the smoke with Drew McIntyre. He wants Drew McIntyre's head, and he wants to fight, and he basically said, look, come on out. Drew McIntyre comes out, and he ends up saying that, look, I'm not going to fight you. We don't need to fight. Look, we don't need to fight. CM Punk, like, look, forget all that. We fighting right now. He tries to attack, but security ends up stopping CM Punk. Drew McIntyre ends up saying that, look, the match that we're going to have is bigger than Green Bay. This should be on a bigger stage. And then he ends up saying that CM Punk is too emotional. He ends up saying that being emotional makes you make bad decisions. And he ends up saying that whenever I'm emotional, I just turn to my family. When he said turn to my family, he pulls out the necklace that he took from CM Punk and ends up saying that whenever I have my family, when I think about my family, it calms me down, which I thought was an amazing heel work. That was fantastic what Drew McIntyre did. I am loving everything about this feud. Then Adam Pearce comes out. Adam Pearce comes out, he's frustrated, he's mad. He basically ends up saying that, look, this match is official, it's going to happen, but there's going to be a surprise, and he ends up announcing that Seth Rollins is the special guest referee of this match, which was kind of leaked earlier. Last week it was leaked, but I'm glad that Seth Rollins is going to be involved. I can't wait. Seth Rollins, of course, his music popped when he announced that Seth Rollins is the special guest referee. Very interested to see how this plays out, because I think that could be amazing. Adam Pearce also later in the show ends up announcing that Seth Rollins next week, Drew, CM Punk, and Seth are going to have basically going to be all in the ring, and Seth is going to announce his rules as referee. So I'm very interested to see what the rules are going to be for that match as well. This was a great segment. I love what they're doing here. Next, we get the Judgment Day. Judgment Day are looking for Jey Uso. Sami Zayn was getting an interview, but he heard some noise, heard some commotion. Jey Uso getting attacked by JD McDonough and Carlito. He ends up making a save, saving Jey Uso from the attack of Judgment Day. And later on, it ends up being a trick tag team match between Sami Zayn, Jey Uso versus Finn Balor and JD McDonough in the main event. We get Xavier Woods, Otis, and Akira Tozawa versus the Final Testament in a 6-man tag match. I'm not going to speak too much on this match. It was some decent moments, mainly when Otis got in the ring. The crowd got really excited for Otis. But towards the end of the match, Karrion Kross ends up taking advantage and ends up picking the victory. After this, though, it's just after the match, it's just Alpha Academy in the ring. Xavier Woods is not in the ring, it's just Alpha Academy. And Chad Gable comes out with the Creed brothers, gets on the microphone, and he ends up saying that he wants to help his friends because that's just how good of a guy he is, and that you end up following Xavier Woods and you end up losing that match. He ends up mentioning how Otis took the leadership role of Alpha Academy and ends up saying that you need to start leading with your brain, but obviously leading with your brain isn't something that you're very good at. Then he ends up saying that I'm going to give you one chance to join back with me. Otis basically ends up declining. He ends up saying that, no, I'm not joining you. I'm done with you. Then Chad Gable's like, okay. He ends up sending the Creeds to attack Otis. Otis ends up taking them both down. He was about to attack Chad Gable. He had him in like a body slam position, but the Creeds ends up getting the upper hand. The numbers game end up, Otis was a no match for the numbers game that Chad Gable had, and they constantly attacking Otis. They brought him out to the outside. They end up getting steel chairs, about to hit him with the steel chair. Then the Y6 come out. The theme music starts playing. The lights go off. The smoke. Then you see the 4 members coming down from the entrance ramp. They're just standing there. It's Nikki Cross, Joe Gacy, Dexter Lumis, and Eric Rowan. They're all standing at the top of the entrance ramp. Then you see Chad Gable. They point to Chad Gable. He's in the ring. The Creed brothers are outside the ring. They point to Chad Gable, and then out of nowhere, you see Bo Dallas as Uncle Howdy right behind Chad Gable. Chad Gable turns around. He sees Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas immediately takes out Chad Gable, and that's the end of the segment there with him on his knees just laughing. This was really great. I love this. This was amazing, and it just cut off after he attacked Chad Gable. This was really good. Hopefully, most likely, they're going to have a match at Summerlslam, I'm assuming. So I'm excited to see how that plays out. But this was a really good segment. I love what they did. It was supposed to be a match between Bronson Reed and Pete Dunne, but Sheamus interferes in the match even before it started. He ends up attacking Pete Dunne. Then he attacks Bronson Reed. He ends up taking out Bronson Reed. He's about to attack Pete Dunne again with a bro kick, but Pete Dunne ends up avoiding it, and that's the end of the segment there. And they're still playing the story of, Pete Dunne and Sheamus, their history and their rivalry. So very interested to see what's next for Pete Dunne and what's next for Sheamus. Don't know how this is going to end, but I have slight interest, mainly because I'm a huge Pete Dunne fan. I love Pete Dunne, especially in the ring. Now we get a quick segment with Judgment Day. Rhea Ripley mentions, what happened with Jey Uso, why'd you guys attack? They basically like, look, we had to do it. Rhea Ripley, of course, is not happy. Then Carlito accidentally mentions how Liv Morgan was hanging out with Dominic. Rhea Ripley didn't take too kind of that, and she ends up taking Dominic Mysterio to the ring. She's like, look, we're going to sell this in the ring. Rhea Ripley comes out with Dominic, basically addresses Liv Morgan, ends up saying that you need to come out. Liv Morgan theme music plays, and she's not coming out to the ring. She's like in the crowd area talking, and she ends up saying that, look, she has feelings for Dominic, and that Dominic has feelings for her, and that you can't deny the feelings that he has for me, because men that are as handsome as Dominic Mysterio don't go for women like Rhea Ripley. They go for women. He goes for women like me. And actually said that she did a spinaroo. And basically, she ended up doing a spinaroo, basically doing like a thirst trap vid, which I know the men was going crazy. Rhea Ripley gets frustrated. She tries to, of course, go after Liv Morgan. Dominic keeps pulling her. Rhea Ripley gets frustrated. She's like, what are you doing? Why are you stopping me? She's just basically trying to ignore Dominic. She gets in Dom's face, looks like she's about to attack, but then Dom ends up saying that, let me fix it. Then Liv Morgan ends up getting on the mic, trying to calm the crowd down, trying to make sure that they let Dominic Mysterio talk. Liv gets on the mic. She ends up saying that, look, I want Dominic to say the 3 words. The 3 words, of course, she's mentioning is, I love you. Dominic gets on the mic. He's like, okay. He ends up saying that I hate you, that you ruined my life. He's just going on and on and on, just constantly obliterating Liv Morgan, constantly talking trash about her, how that he never liked her and how he never will. This was great. This was really good. I was very shocked because I thought they was going to play the angle of, Rhea Ripley constantly belittling and kind of treating Dominic bad, but it looks like they're on good terms. Liv Morgan starts crying immediately once Dominic ended up saying those harsh words to her, and then after this, Liv Morgan starts leaving. She's crying. Then you get Rhea Ripley. She turns to Dominic. She's happy, that he stuck up for her. And she ends up choking him, licking his face, and then kissing him on the cheek. I love what they've been doing with this Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley stuff. This has been really good, really great. That was a really great segment. Very interested to see how they will pull this off at SummerSlam. We get Selena Vega versus Zoe Stark. Kind of disappointed how this match ended. Selena Vega picks up the victory with the help of the KCs and Lyra Valkyria. She was having an arm injury throughout the match. I don't like how they made her win, only because it's like they made her win by using the cast as a weapon, which I kind of hate that, because you can't say your arm is in pain every time it gets attacked, but then use it as a weapon. To me, that just doesn't make sense. I hate when they do that, but Selena Vega picks up the victory. Now we get to the main event. Jey Uso versus Sami Zayn. Jey Uso and Sami Zayn, my mistake, versus JD McDonough and Finn Balor. Sami Zayn, Jey Uso ends up picking the victory. We already knew the babyface was going to win. But after the match, Braun Breaker comes in while they're celebrating and ends up spearing Sami Zayn once again, and that's how you end your Money in the Raw. This was a really solid episode of Money in the Raw. I can't wait for SummerSlam. The build up to SummerSlam has been really good. Love what they're doing here, especially with Drew and CM Punk finally being cleared. I can't wait. But you guys let me know what your thoughts and opinions down below. Let me know what you guys thought of this episode of Money in the Raw. Let me know how excited you are for SummerSlam. Yeah, but make sure you leave your opinions down below. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah, that's it.